Hey everyone, Pure here. Just want to make a super quick video. I just reached level 100 last Epoch in 2. Got it like a couple hours ago. I didn't lack of sleeps, hopefully, but I was able to get to rank 57 on the ladder, which is not too crazy or not too bad. I think I did pretty okay for myself. Just want to go over my strategy that I used in order to gain a lot of XP really fast. And 99% of the strategy just relies on making usage of two of the woven echoes. So it's going to be the false temples and the Lostwood Folly. Um, and then essentially what I was doing is just to kind of quickly gloss over, I would find a cemetery in order to be able to use my woven echoes, obviously. And then you follow up by simply placing the folly in a middle, and then you surround it by fallen temples. The reason being that the Lostwood Folly adds a bunch of fit weavers, and they also get placed into the surrounding echoes. And then the false temple just changes your map to be a map filled with shrines. So basically, you have a map full of shrines that gives you a bajillion buffs, and then the whole map is also filled with a lot of pack size and a lot of heavily juiced up mobs, which gives a lot of XP. And then you kind of just run through the whole thing and kill mobs and rinse and repeat. The good thing about this strategy is actually extremely easy to set up to begin with, and it is self-sustainable. So if you head over to the Haven of Silk, which is where there should be the NPC named Mask, I believe, he should have a shop to which, as you level up the faction for the Woven faction, you gain access to being able to buy the echoes directly. And then the False Temple is actually the cheapest one out there, and then the Lostwood Folly is about 1,000 memory embers each. And the cool part about it is that you actually self-sustain, and even you end up with more memory embers than you need. So it's a self-sustainable strategy that just gives you a crap ton of loot and XP and gold and whatnot. The build that I'm using is the Automobber Devouring Orb. There's probably a bunch of other builds that are more efficient than this one or not. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's kind of the build I went with. If you are interested in seeing what kind of gear I had, I'm gonna post a quick link in the description for my profile. That way you can see exactly the setup I have. As you can see, like for example, the helmet, I don't have like an exalted affix for Devouring Orb +4 and things like that. Like it's nothing crazy. I do have like a pretty decent body armor though, I will say, which gives me quite a bit of damage. But nothing's in there is like GG item. It's everything is pretty manageable. I was doing this strategy at corruption 439. What I did is, as I was going through this strategy, I was kind of also increasing the corruption little by little every time I would reset, basically. And the moment that you reset is every time you need to restock on the echoes, basically. So it's pretty simple. So I started this as soon as I reached empowered monoliths and was able to kind of just get the XP going, and then you slowly but surely increase the corruption as you do the strategy at the same time, and then you kind of self-sustain. You're capable of increasing the amount of maps that you place, and then you just keep going, rinse and repeat until you're at a high enough corruption that you can still handle it. If it gets too hard, you know, feel free to just go into one of these reset nodes to reduce the corruption. That way it gets a bit easier. Kind of depends on what gear you have and what kind of build you're using. But yeah, that's kind of it. If there's any questions, feel free to put a comment. I'll make sure to answer those as best I can. There you go. Have a good one. Peace.